Hey everybody, my name's Wayne. I do TikToks on high demand religions and cults and the psychology behind them. And want to talk a little bit more about some of the tactics people use to recruit for cults. One thing we have to remember that I've talked about time and time again, who joins a cult? More often than not, they're above average intelligent people. They have enough time and energy to devote to the cult, and they're financially stable enough to support themselves while being a member. In addition to all these positive aspects, they're usually people who, although they want to understand how the world works, but they don't necessarily trust mainstream sources. So they have that distrust of the mainstream, number one. Number two, they're usually insecure. They don't have a lot of confidence in themselves, and so a lot of times they seek that confidence externally, people to validate them. And finally, they're looking for community. They're looking for like-minded people like them. They maybe feel a little bit lonely. Maybe they don't feel connected to people. And so that's what a cult promises. And this is a good example. This person says here, regardless of what others think. So the first thing we're doing is we're saying, hey, we're not mainstream. This appeals to people who don't already trust the mainstream. Regardless of what others think, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has brought me close to the Son of God. So it's promising relationship with a spirit, relationship with God, and his love for me. In other words, it's feeding that ego. It's feeding that insecurity, because God will love you if you join their organization. You will feel close to God if you will join their organization. So it's a promise of community, which people crave. It's a promise of having your ego fed, which they crave. But it's also promising it outside of the mainstream, because it says here, regardless of what others think. This ticks a lot of those boxes for the type of people that a cult will target. If you don't hit those boxes, it's not going to be as enticing to you. But you can see how they've crafted their language to go specifically after people who are insecure and lonely. It's kind of devious when you see it that way, isn't it? Anyways, I hope that gives you some food for thought and helps you to understand the type of techniques they use. If you guys have any questions or concerns about this, please feel free to reach out anytime. You guys have a good morning.